Hey guys, it's Tom from Hops and Bops. We have a bit of a different video today. I just wanted to go over my experience that I had at the Tame Impala concert. I had just a fantastic time, and I just wanted to go over it a little bit with you guys. By the way, I'm going to be drinking Wandering Into the Fog, which is a double IPA from Abomination, if anyone's interested. I figured I should drink a beer because it's Hops and Bops. If you're into that kind of thing, go check them out. They do make really good beers. So this story goes all the way back to the day before the concert. Our good friend Paul Kanarki, if you're a fan of the podcast, he's a frequent guest on there, one of my really close friends from school. He hits me up and he says, hey, I'm filling in for the bassist for a show in Rhode Island, and his friend is a higher up at the casino of where Tame Impala is playing. So I say, sure, why not? Let's go to this concert. Pretty cheap tickets. Even like the nosebleeds, when we looked at them before, because I really wanted to go, they were like in the hundreds of dollars. So I was like, nah, I'm not really going to want to go for that price. But so I rush to get ready to take a shower. I go to the casino pretty quickly, and we get there a little bit early just so that you can get pretty good viewing spots for the show. And yeah, I filmed a lot of it for you guys too. So I'm going to sparse some clips in here and there of the experience of it all as well. All right, guys, we are on our way to the Tame Impala concert. I just want to document a little bit of it for you, just to get the kind of feel. I'm going with my good friend Paul. I'm going for, I think, like 70 bucks, which is a great deal, and we're gonna have floor seats. Paul gave me a call and let me know that, so very, very excited. I wasn't really planning on this. He let me know yesterday. That was Friday. Today is Saturday. So today is going to be a very interesting concert. I'm excited to go see them. I assume he's going to play a lot of the Slow Rush, the album he just put out. But I really hope they play a lot of Currents, because that's my favorite album from them. And maybe some Lonerism. I've never really listened to that album before, but I hope they play some of that as well. But I guess we will see. Also, I'm interested because, yes, the meme is, oh, he's only one guy. But it's true. Kevin Parker is the only guy in Tame Impala. I'm wondering how his live band will sound, because, you know, you gotta have a touring band with that. I've also seen a lot of really cool visuals on TikTok of how the event looks. So I'm gonna try to get as much of that for you guys, and we will see how it goes.
20 minutes later.
All right, we're here. We made it. We are at the very luxurious Mohegan Sun Casino in Connecticut. I forget which town exactly it's in. But I'm very excited. Gonna go find Paul. Let's go have a good show. Luckily, the venue wasn't too far for me, probably about half an hour, 40 minutes away from my house. And I got there pretty quickly, and then I met up with Paul. All right, guys, we made it to the casino, and look who I found, Mr. Paul Kanarki.
Paul Kanarki, I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I didn't know he'd be here. I just ran into him at the casino.
Just by random, really. So we're here. We're betting money. We're waiting because we're gonna get some food at Frank Pepe's. We're gonna get some pizza before the show starts. Yeah. You excited for the show?
Oh my God, I so am. I just found out I was going here like yesterday.
Yeah, that's what I found out too.
Such a nice guy. He had two spare tickets.
And that's not how that works.
Yeah, I know. We
stopped and got some food before we went, and then the doors opened at 7, and we started to go in. The theme of the tour was kind of medicine or doctor themed. There was a big prescription pill bottle outside called Rushium. That was kind of playing into the theme. I'll get into it later with the opening as well. But there's this huge inflatable, I'll see if I can find pictures of it, just a pill prescription bottle for some kind of fake drug that they made up for the theming of the show. But anyway, we made it through security, we got all of our things checked, and we got escorted down into the pit section, which I've never been in before. These are probably one of the best seats I've ever had for a show ever. And then we finally get in, and we are right dead center of the pit. It has got to be just one of the coolest spots ever. All right, Paul and I made it to the pit. We're actually very close. If you can see the stage from there, that's how close we are. I'm very excited. Paul, what do you think? How you feeling? Amazing.
Concert. This whole room is gonna go jumping. I can't wait.
They're already playing "Dirty Work" by Steely Dan. That's a good sign for things to come. If you don't get hyped to "Dirty Work" by Steely Dan, I don't know what else to tell you. So,
it's a perfect opener.
We're probably standing in the pit for about 45 minutes or so until the opener came out, which I didn't know there was going to be an opener. We actually asked the girls in front of us if there was going to be one. And it was Jungle Pussy. I have never heard of Jungle Pussy before in my life. I said to Paul, it sounds like some kind of weird disease you probably go to see at your gyno. But regardless, it was Jungle Pussy. Jungle Pussy be what Jungle Pussy do. It just didn't feel like the right crowd for Jungle Pussy. I feel like she would have had a much better audience with a different act to be opening with, but it just felt like there were a lot of like indie boys and like these psych rock kind of guys around us that just weren't into them. But I mean, if she's your kind of thing, you know, go check her out. But yeah, not really for me. And I think what really stacked on top of that was that she played for probably about 45 minutes or close to an hour, which is very, very long for an opener. Maybe it's just my COVID brain not really being used to a concert. I haven't been to one since 2019, but it just felt like it was way, way too long. The audience wasn't really into it, which you know, it kind of makes sense. There was one point in the show where she held up a sign that said, "This pussy don't pop for you," or something like that, which was probably the biggest audience reaction of the night, which, you know. But regardless, this is not a Jungle Pussy recap. This is a Tame Impala recap. So it took them probably about 20 more minutes just to get out there. So by this time, it's like almost 9:30 when the show was supposed to start at like 8. And my legs are already tired. I've been standing there since a bit after 7. So it's been almost 2 hours of me just standing in a pit. But they finally come out, and holy shit, were they amazing. They open with this really interesting scene of like a medical practitioner giving you warnings about the slow rushium, or whatever the name of the pill was that they were talking about, and how it will give you some kind of audio visual glitches and warpings and some kind of hallucination.
We are excited to welcome you to the Tame Impala Slow Rush Tour and introduce you to Rushium, an experimental new time therapy treatment in liquid and pill form. There are Aeon Well staff present at this show who are distributing Rushium. Be advised that Rushium's effects range from a minor expansion to large time collapses, staged within memory and the effective present.
And as the scene went longer and longer, the voice started getting slower and slower until it got very, very, very slow. And it was just completely distorted. You can't even hear at the very end.
These effects can take up to 30 minutes to set in. So now would be a great time to take your Rushium.
But it still played into the theming of the tour very well, and I think was a very interesting way to start the show for sure. But they started the show with One More Year, if I am remembering that correctly. It's just a great opener. I mean, it started the Slow Rush album, which was their most recent album. Obviously, they couldn't tour it because they dropped it like a month before, you know, COVID started to hit the fan. They started the show off with that. I thought that was a great opener because, you know, on the album I thought it was a great opener as well. So just really paired in well with that. Also, apologies for shooting some of the video vertically and some of it horizontally. I planned on making a bit of a TikTok video out of some of the clips. And, you know, if they flip-flop or if I catch something in one aspect ratio, that's why. But if there's one thing I do have to give them credit for right off the gate, the fantastic visuals throughout the entire show. I saw a little snippet on TikTok before the show, like this really big wave crashing on the background of the concert, and that was just scratching the surface for what kind of visuals I was really going to be prepared for going into it. For one, the laser production, I guess is what I can call it, but whatever it was, the lasers that were behind them were so cool and synced up perfectly with every single note they're playing for each song. They circle ring light that hovered above them that could shoot out steam and could shoot out lights in every direction, and it could pivot so it could drop lower on one side and then kind of spin as its own unit around them. Obviously not that fast, but it could lower and then raise, and then at one point it lifted all the way up into a circle upright and started shooting out lights everywhere. The background lights just by themselves were fantastic, and obviously the big screen behind them showed a lot of different visuals. It varied from them, you know, being shot by a live camera on stage and then that being projected on the background, to pre-shot things that synced up with Kevin Parker's mouth. And again, the wave cresting part was very, very cool as well. Just a lot of great visual production that went into the show. And then the performances, I mean, it's Tame Impala. Like, what are you gonna expect? Like, I scrolled down a little bit to show their top 10 songs, and they played every single one of them except for Yes, I'm Changing. But yeah, and obviously the Boat I Rode, but I think that's a B-side they just released recently. But yeah, they fucking nailed it. Every single song that they played was awesome. I'll see if I can find a full set list. I think I filmed pretty much every song that they did, but going off the top of my head, they did One More Year, they did Borderline, I'm pretty sure they did Posthumous Forgiveness, they did Breathe Deeper, Lost in Yesterday. For some reason, Lost in Yesterday, when they performed it, not a lot of people were hype and jumping around, even though that's one of my favorite songs off the album that they released. So I was really having a great time, and I think I got some pretty good video of that as well. Pretty sure they closed the entire show with One More Hour, which isn't really the strongest closer that they've ever put out, and I think the show would have benefited better if they ended with one of their more well-known tracks, or at least a stronger hitting track. One of the more exciting parts of the show was when they did Elephant off of Lonerism, which is an album that I was never really into. Obviously, I listened to Feels Like We Are Going Backwards, which they also did. But that song just blew it out of the water, especially with everything synced up with Laser Show and the power that they have behind it. It's a bit less of a psych rock song and more of just a straightforward rock, maybe like a White Stripes style song. But the way that they play and perform that song, it got everyone in the crowd jumping, and had so much energy that it was just like crackling, like it spread across the entire crowd. Definitely one of the highlights of the show, even if it's not their top 5 most popular songs, still just knocked out of the park. And then Kevin Parker eventually even stopped the show at one point and pointed out that someone was wearing a walrus costume, which I'll include the clip of here. I think I got a video of him in the costume.
I saw a guy in a walrus costume.
Walrus costume?
I know you think I'm crazy, right?
You saw a guy in a walrus.
This is not a normal thing for Connecticut.
Woo!
Hang on a minute, they're signaling him out over here. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the man in the walrus costume.
I can't explain why they did that, but I mean, props to them. I guess he got a shout out from Kevin, which is a cool thing. Kevin also mentioned that this was the first time they'd ever come out to Connecticut. If I didn't mention that, that's where I saw the show. And that's kind of a cool thing, you know. Being a part of that in the crowd, I guess, is kind of interesting, and we were a very energetic crowd. And one more thing I can add, I guess, was that there was a lot of confetti that. I think if I'm counting right, I think there were 6 different times that the confetti cannons were shot. I don't know if that's just me, but I feel like that's too many confettis. Like, I remember after the last one, I was just kind of like putting my face up and I was like ducking my head back down to not get them in my eyes. Like, there were moments in the first couple where I was just like kind of basking in it all and letting it rain on me. But I don't know. The confetti budget has to be really high for that show because they shot a lot of it.
What about Patrick? Did you just leave Patrick in the cold?
I remember when we were leaving the show and going to get water, there was confetti like being tracked all across the casino. Like, the entire length of the thing, we saw confetti on the ground. Like, that's got to be a nightmare for the sanitation crew to just clean up. Like, I feel so bad for them. But yeah, that was pretty much a lot of my favorite parts of the show. The only real knocks I can give was that the audience was kind of weird. Again, like I mentioned, the guy behind me was kind of a buzzkill. And there was a section after they left to go for like the fake encore, like most bands do nowadays. They just kind of leave and then expect to do an encore. But we were pretty excited for them to come back for an encore, obviously. But most of the people in the front left. Like, I remember when they came out, everyone took like 6 or 7 really big steps forward for some reason. I don't know if the barrier broke, or I don't know if people just left because they're dumb, or if it's like a post-COVID thing, like people don't expect them to have an encore anymore. But we just got a lot closer to the stage for no apparent reason. So I don't really know what that was all about. But I mean, hey, I got to see The Less I Know the Better even closer than I was before, so I'm not really complaining about that. It was just a weird bit.
What a great show we just got out. Paul, I want your opinions on that show.
So amazing.
It was good?
It was a brilliant light show. It was like,
Yeah,
the
honestly.
closest thing, it was kind of like a Pink Floyd show, you know, like, but more poppy.
Yeah, I mean, I think the lights were absolutely one of the better parts of it.
And we gambled a little bit afterwards. I lost about $50, which, you know, again, par for the course for the for that casino. But again, just what a great experience. I kind of wish if I was honest, I kind of wish I was a little high. Just because I felt, especially in the pit with the laser shooting directly above your head like they were in the videos. I feel like that would have been a cool experience. But again, I saw them in the pit for $70. I'm not going to complain. But if I had to give this show a rating, they didn't do one of my most favorite songs of all time, just Cause I'm a Man, which I didn't really expect them to. That's kind of not one of the more popular songs on Currents. And the closer wasn't amazing, but again, fantastic lights, music was amazing. The experience of being that close to Kevin Parker and his live band was great. The crowd was pretty hyped the entire time. I didn't stop shouting. It was great to be there with Paul. He had a great time, and yeah, I would give it like a 9.5 out of 10. It was that close to being just a perfect show for me. Probably one of the best shows I've been to ever. At least top 3 for me, to be fair. But yeah, those are my thoughts from the show. If you're interested, we are going to be doing the Slow Rush by Tame Impala on the Hops and Bops podcast on this very channel, or on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you get it, Stitcher, all those weird sites. If you really want to listen to us talk about the Slow Rush, I really wanted to do that album after I saw the show because I thought that would add a whole different layer. If you're interested in our thoughts on the album Currents, that was one of the first albums we ever did on the show. I think it's episode 8 or so, where we talk about that album, which is, again, one of my favorites of all time. So go check that out. The link for everything will be in the bio. Just link for all of the episodes. Go check them out. We have a huge list of episodes in the background. And shout out to Wandering Into the Fog, a beer by Abomination Brewing Company. We also did on an episode. I don't remember off the top of my head which one it was. But again, this is just a great beer. I really do love it. It's got a lot of bite to it, but nothing too extraneous. And it will definitely knock you on your ass if you're not careful. Anyway, guys, those are my thoughts and opinions on the show. Thank you so much for watching. Only a small percentage of people that actually watch these videos are subscribed. So if you could, please subscribe and drop a like down there as well. I don't know how much it impacts you, but it really does impact me and the growth of this channel as well. And, you know, of course, it's free. You can always unsubscribe if you don't really want to view it later. And I would really, really appreciate it again. So thank you guys so much, and we will see you in the next one.